The mountain torrents erupted. But my fiancé Jason blocked the only escape truck. He insisted on waiting for his precious first love Lily to change into her new shirt. The floodwaters had already breached the riverbank, their roar growing louder by the second. As the entire village faced imminent death, I knocked Jason unconscious with a shovel handle and dragged him aboard. Back in town, we rebuilt our lives in safety. I thought he'd forgotten that woman until our wedding night when he poisoned our ceremonial wine. Dying, I heard his icy voice, "Anne, you killed my Lily. She only wanted to look pretty in her new clothes before escaping. What's wrong with that? Now you'll die screaming. Your guts rotting like she did in that mudslide." I awoke Reborn at that fateful truck blockade. This time, I'll let lovebirds Jason and Lily enjoy their eternal embrace beneath these collapsing mountains. The mudslide's minutes away. We'll all be buried alive. Villagers screamed as crumbling slopes advanced. Young men rushed at Jason, trying to drag him from the truck's path. He kicked them savagely, eyes bloodshot. "Lily's coming. Can't you wait 5 more minutes?" A fallen youth clutching his ribs yelled. "Should our whole village die for your girlfriend?" The evacuation siren blared for 30 minutes. "Even Mayor Ben's here, he's our only guide to the safe route." All eyes turned to the pale, coughing elder, our sole hope of navigating the old mountain trails around the flood zone. Without Ben, we'd be trapped. Jason sneered at the crowd. "What? Country bumpkins' lives matter more than an educated girl's? Our village is responsible for protecting Lily." His words drew furious but helpless silence. Fellow educated youth pulled my arm desperately. "Anne, talk sense into Jason. The mountain's collapsing. Mayor Green can't last much longer." The entire truck's hope rested on me, the village teacher. Jason's betrothed. Jason shot me that familiar warning glare. Murderous intent undisguised. I inhaled deeply, making my fateful choice. Jason's right. We don't abandon comrades. Outraged curses erupted. Jason relaxed smugly as villagers called us both insane. Enraged, he kicked the cursing youth again, then grabbed a heavy tire iron from his truck toolbox, his territory as the driver. The wrench clanged against steel frame. "Next bastard who complains gets their skull tested against this." Dead silence fell, broken only by approaching landslides sealing our doom. Jason surveyed his cowed audience, satisfied at last, smiling with satisfaction. His gaze softened as he looked at me. "Anne, thank you for understanding. I always knew you'd be reasonable. Don't worry. Once we get back safely to the county town, we'll get married immediately. I'll apply for a new apartment in town through the factory." Such tangible promises. In my past life, he'd painted this same rosy picture to keep me devoted. I suppressed the bile rising in my throat and nodded obediently. He approached to pat my head. I lowered my eyes, hiding the ice in my stare. Outside the truck, rainwater had become rushing streams. Muddy torrents cascaded down distant slopes. Jason remained stubbornly guarding the cab, eyes feverishly scanning the village road. But I knew this truck would never reach safety, even if Lily arrived. When he'd smashed the tire iron earlier, I'd seen the crucial bolt on the drive shaft assembly loosened by half a turn. My father had been a mechanic. I knew that shaft was the truck's lifeline for mountain roads. Now it was compromised. Even if we left now, this truck couldn't climb the first hill. The atmosphere grew heavier. Children wailed as elders began murmuring final wishes. Several young men glared at Jason but stayed silent, intimidated by his iron wrench. "God damn it. Waiting here means death." A man finally erupted. Jason coldly hefted his tool. "Feel free to jump into the mudslide then." A faint cry pierced the rain. "Jason." "I'm here." Lily appeared under a delicate oil paper umbrella, suspiciously pristine for someone fleeing disaster. Her lips gleamed crimson, makeup flawless as she clutched an ornate wooden box. Jason's expression transformed. He dropped the wrench and rushed to embrace her. "Lily, you made it." She pouted prettily. "I nearly missed you." "Thank goodness I ran fast." Smugly displaying her box, Her gaze swept over the haggard passengers before settling on me with a mocking smirk. Following her look, Jason stiffened momentarily before recovering his bluster. "Anne. We can go now that Lily's here." But the young man he'd kicked earlier exploded. "What the hell's in that damn box? You risked all our lives for this?" The truck erupted in fury. Jason snatched up his wrench, jabbing it threateningly. "One more word and I'll rearrange your teeth." Silence fell. Lily cowered behind him, clutching her treasure dramatically. As they passed me, she whispered sweetly, "Thanks, Anne." I ignored her, watching floodwaters devour the village road. The engine roared to life just as mountains collapsed with apocalyptic thunder. A mudslide devoured the path ahead. "The road's gone," someone shrieked. Desperate wails filled the air. The young man stood shaking, pointing at the mud-choked exit. "Jason. Happy now? We'll all die here because of her." A mother clutching her baby broke into hysterical sobs. "My baby is only 5 years old, and all because she wanted to go back for that stupid box." Lily's eyes instantly reddened as she curled pitifully into Jason's arms. "I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to retrieve my sewing kit to embroider protective charms for everyone." Jason tightened his embrace around her. "Did you hear that?" Lily was trying to help. "What right do any of you have to criticize her?" Chaos erupted in the truck. Some passengers wailed in despair while others stared transfixed at the approaching floodwaters. I surveyed the group calmly. "The truck's done for. We need to reach the quarry on the back mountain immediately," a young man urgently asked. "But the roads are gone." "How?" I pointed at Ben. "Ben knows an old trail that leads straight to the quarry cave halfway up the mountain." "Jumping down first." I ordered. "Everyone follow me. Stay silent." The villagers scrambled after me in survival mode, all except Lily, who remained rooted in place, glaring disgustedly at the mud. "There's filth everywhere, my new shoes." Jason immediately comforted her. "Don't worry, Lily. I'll carry you." Ignoring the couple, I supported Ben and led the group up the treacherous mountain path. The elderly man wheezed behind me. "And this old bones might not. Stay strong, Ben." I steadied him. "You're our anchor. I'll get you through this safely." We barely outpaced the next mudslide, stumbling into the quarry cave as debris cascaded downhill. "Rest here. We're on high ground, it's secure for now," I reassured the group. Collective relief washed over the exhausted villagers, until acrid smoke began filling the enclosed space. "Who lit that fire?" We found Lily crouching by a small flame. "It's freezing here." "What's wrong with warming up?" Ben suddenly doubled over, his face purpling as violent coughs racked his body. "Put it out, the smoke." I stomped out the fire. But too late. Ben clutched his chest, gasping for air. "You walking disaster," the young man shouted. "If anything happens to Ben, you've damned us all." Lily cowered behind Jason. They're all being so mean." "Back off," Jason roared, shielding her. "It was an accident. Since when do we bully women?" He dragged Lily to a corner despite the group's fury. Digging through my satchel, I retrieved an inhaler, only to hear dramatic coughing behind me. "Jason, I can't breathe." Lily collapsed theatrically against him, deathly pale and clutching her chest. "Lily, what's wrong?" Jason frantically caught her, whirling to scream at me. "Do something. Hurry up with the medicine. Lily is dying." Ben was already choking, clawing desperately at his throat. "No," I snapped, striding toward the elderly man. "That's Ben's emergency inhaler." Jason suddenly lunged like a madman, snatching the inhaler from my grip. I stumbled backward, slamming against the cave wall. "Ben's turning blue," I shouted incredulously. "He's our only way down the mountain." Jason hesitated briefly before thrusting the inhaler toward Lily. "This old fossil's halfway in the grave anyway. You think his life matters more than Lily's?" The cave erupted in outrage. A young man charged forward. "Jason, Ben's our lifeline. How dare you prioritize this selfish?" "Shut your mouth." Jason smashed his wrench across the protester's face. glaring at the terrified crowd. Next person who moves gets the same. Lily leaned weakly against the wall, poorly concealing her smirk. She caught my eye triumphantly before spraying the medication into her perfectly healthy mouth. Ben lay motionless on the ground now, his lips tinged purple. The bloodied youth crawled to Ben's side. Anne. Do something. My nails dug crescent moons into my palms. Just like last time, Jason always put Lily first. Even if it doomed us all. I whispered urgently. Stay calm. The militia's coming. The moment I decided to wait for Lily after rebirthing, I'd sent the village's fastest kid with a letter to the neighboring militia outpost. Boots pounded outside the cave. The militia. The youth cried. Flashlight beams swept through the entrance as armed men secured the area. The militia commander removed his hat, scanning the crowd. Where's Ben? We need him to guide us to Riverside Village immediately. Every eye turned to the dying man in the corner. The commander paled, rushing to Ben's side. Who did this? He roared. The battered youth pointed a trembling finger. Commander. Jason stole Ben's inhaler for that woman. The commander loomed over Jason. Hand it over. Jason shielded Lily defiantly. Lily needed it too. The officer stared at Lily's ruddy complexion. Needed it? She looks perfectly fine to me. I'll say it one last time, hand over the medication. Or we won't hold back. Jason tightened his grip on the tire wrench. I told you. That inhaler belongs to Lily. Anyone who touches her will answer to me. Lily timed a weak, hacking cough perfectly. Jason. I feel awful. The militia captain wasn't buying it. He jerked his chin at two militiamen behind him. Restrain him. Yes. Sir. The young militiaman rushed forward. One twisted Jason's wrist while the other wrestled the wrench from his grip. Jason thrashed against the stone wall, snarling. Let me go. You'll regret this. The captain strode past him toward Lily, palm outstretched. The inhaler. Now. Lily paled, hiding the spray behind her back. I'm really sick, check her. The captain ordered a female militiaman. Despite Lily's protests, the woman patted her down and produced the inhaler within seconds. Found it. Captain. Reporting, her breathing and pulse are normal. No signs of an asthma attack. Lily flushed crimson, staring at the ground. The captain hurried back to Ben, supporting the village chief as he administered the medication. Ben's violent coughing gradually subsided. Gulping air, his blue-tinged face regained color. Alive. I'm alive, he rasped, pointing at Jason. Captain. That man stole my inhaler. He wanted me dead. Wanted us all to die here. Document this, attempted manslaughter and obstruction of rescue efforts. The captain told the scribe. Jason shouted over the commotion. Lies. I was saving Lily. That's when I stepped forward calmly. Captain. I have another report. Every eye turned to me as I locked gazes with Jason. Jason deliberately sabotaged our only truck. He used that wrench to loosen the driveshaft bolts while waiting for Lily. That's why we're stranded here. Jason's eyes bulged. Anne. You're framing me. The captain studied me. Ms. Smith, is this true? I nodded firmly. My father was a mechanic. I've known that part since I was a child. If you don't believe me, go inspect the truck right now. The platoon leader immediately ordered two militiamen. Take flashlights and check under the vehicle. Yes. Sir. The men grabbed flashlights and sprinted from the cave. Jason's face turned ashen, sweat beading on his forehead. The militiamen returned shortly. Sir. The driveshaft coupling bolts under the truck frame were indeed loosened by half a turn. The fresh impact marks show someone recently struck them with a heavy object. Jason collapsed to the ground like a puppet with cut strings. After the floodwaters receded, we reached the county safely. The next morning, I went straight to the county police station. I volunteered my statement to the officer in charge, which aligned perfectly with Ben's account and those of other villagers. The officer's expression grew increasingly grave as he documented my testimony. Ms. Smith. Thank you for your cooperation. Your information proves crucial. Days later, the investigation concluded. With overwhelming evidence, the authorities charged Jason with assault and endangering public safety, transferring his case to the district attorney for prosecution. News spread rapidly through the county. Lily sobbed to everyone at the youth camp, claiming I'd fabricated lies about her fiancé out of jealousy. Anne's just a bitter woman who can't stand Jason caring for me. He's innocent, too kind for his own good. This time, nobody believed her. The entire community knew she'd nearly doomed the village over a vanity case. That troublemaker. Selfish enough to drag men down with her. Jason threw his life away for that witch. Instead of tarnishing my reputation, Lily's rumors made her a pariah. Meanwhile, my school colleagues greeted me with thumbs up. Way to go, Anne. Staying calm during crisis, you saved countless lives. Parents from the mountain village flooded our campus with gratitude, pressing eggs and homemade goods into my hands. The County Education Bureau hosted an awards ceremony. The superintendent himself presented me with Outstanding Educator and Flood Relief Hero honors before the entire school. Ms. Smith's quick thinking sets the standard for all educators. He announced my promotion to the county's top experimental school amid thunderous applause. Just as life stabilized, an unexpected letter arrived from county detention, Jason's contrite plea. He confessed to being blinded by Lily, begged forgiveness, and promised undying devotion if I could secure his release. As I stared at the words on the letter, my stomach churned. I didn't reply, nor did I finish reading it. I tore the letter into shreds and threw them in the trash. He owed me a life. This time, I wouldn't give him another chance. A month later, Jason's trial commenced at the county courthouse. Taking my seat in the witness stand as the key witness, I calmly observed Jason in his prison jumpsuit and shaved head across the defendant's dock. He looked haggard, the usual spark in his eyes extinguished. When the judge asked about the incident, I recounted every detail dispassionately. He physically blocked the truck to wait for Lily, preventing the entire village from evacuating. He kicked villagers who tried to reason with him and threatened everyone with a tire iron. Most crucially, he sabotaged the truck's driveshaft, directly causing us to miss our evacuation window. During his defense, Jason remained unrepentant. I never meant to hurt anyone. He leaped up, pointing at Lily in the gallery. Everything I did was for Lily. She's this kind, delicate city girl who just wanted to retrieve her sewing kit to make protective talismans for everyone. What's wrong with that? Angry hisses erupted from the villagers in attendance. The judge's gavel restored order. Defendant Jason, your so-called kindness endangered dozens of lives. Your protection relied on violence and property destruction. No justification excuses endangering others. The judge's voice boomed. Given the severity and societal impact of your crimes, you deserve maximum punishment. Jason turned ashen, speechless. Lily wept uncontrollably in the gallery, but Jason never glanced her way. When sentencing came, the judge announced solemnly, 4 charges of intentional endangerment and public safety violations. Jason is sentenced to 8 years imprisonment. Bailiffs hauled away the trembling defendant. Jason! Lily screamed, struggling against court officers who restrained her. Stepping outside the courthouse, I breathed in the sunshine. Last lifetime, he poisoned my drink and left me to die in agony. Now he'll rot behind bars for his cruelty. This is true justice. With Jason imprisoned, Lily's world collapsed. She begged for appeals and loans to hire lawyers. But former comrades from the Educated Youth Program avoided her. Trucking crews crossed streets to evade her. When she approached villagers, they chased her off with brooms. Get out, Jinx. You're not welcome here. The slammed gates echoed her ruin. Not long after, Lily's money ran out. Due to her terrible reputation, the director of the youth camp could no longer tolerate her. Citing her prolonged absence from labor duties, he evicted her from the dormitory. Lily was now completely homeless, reduced to wandering the streets of the county town. The once meticulously dressed city girl had vanished, replaced by a disheveled beggar with hollow eyes. One evening as I left my new school, I unexpectedly encountered her at a street corner. She was crouching outside a steamed bun shop, staring hungrily at the billowing steam from the bamboo trays. When she saw me, it was as if she'd spotted a lifeline. "Anne, I'm begging you." She threw herself at my feet, tears and mucus streaking her face. "Please show mercy. Let Jason go. Go tell the police it was all a misunderstanding, that you forgive him." Her desperation only amplified the irony. I coldly pulled my leg free and stepped back. "Lily, you chose this path yourselves. This is the consequence you've earned. You expect me to save the man who nearly destroyed our entire village and poisoned me in my past life? Are you delusional?" My words stunned her. Though confused by my last statement about past lives, she recognized the finality in my eyes. "Anne, how can you be so heartless?" I walked away without another word. Days later, news reached me. Lily had been arrested for stealing from that same bun shop. Though previously let off with warnings for petty theft, this time she'd taken a substantial amount. Combined with her repeat offenses, she received a 2-year sentence for reform through labor. When Jason learned in prison that his cherished first love had resorted to theft and been sent to a labor camp, he suffered a complete mental breakdown. Their fates were simply the bitter fruits of their own actions. They'd reaped what they'd sown. 3 years passed swiftly. My teaching career at the experimental middle school flourished, earning me recognition as a county-level distinguished educator. My photo and achievements were featured in the local paper. Life continued improving. Ben fully recovered and often visited with village produce. Through his efforts, I met Michael, a soft-spoken surgeon 3 years my senior at the county hospital. Unlike Jason's empty promises, Michael showed his care through actions, waiting patiently outside school after my night classes, canceling shifts to nurse me through illnesses. His quiet decency gradually thawed my guarded heart. We fell in love. The following spring, we held a simple wedding attended by close colleagues and friends. Ben brought a contingent of villagers who cheered tearfully for my happiness. At the altar, Michael clasped my hands with steady sincerity. "Anne, thank you for marrying me. I'll spend the rest of my life protecting and cherishing you," he said. I looked at him, smiling through misty eyes as I nodded. This time, I knew I'd chosen right. Years later, occasional whispers about Jason and Lily still reached me. Jason served 12 full years before release. When he tried returning to his old trucking company, they slammed doors in his face. Nobody wanted a driver with violent felonies and blood on his hands. He became our county's cautionary tale, the disgraced man everyone crossed the street to avoid. Reduced to dockyard day labor, he hauled crates for survival wages. As for Lily, after her rehabilitation, shame kept her from returning. Rumor said she'd fled to some southern town, marrying a widower decades older. Her days now consisted of mending clothes for pennies. Meanwhile, I'd built my happiness. Michael and I had a 3-year-old son with apple cheeks and endless curiosity. Another decade passed. Our boy started middle school while Michael became deputy director at County General. Memories of Jason had nearly faded when that Sunday afternoon changed everything. We were browsing the new department store's school supplies section when a raspy voice froze me. "Anne?" I turned to see a gaunt, white-haired man hunched like weathered driftwood. Time in prison had erased all traces of the vicious young trucker I'd known. Michael shifted instinctively, shielding me while keeping our son close. Jason's sunken eyes traveled across our family before dropping to the floor. "Just passing through," he mumbled, already retreating. "Jason." He stiffened as if electrocuted. When he finally turned, tears streaked his leathery face. "I was wrong, Anne. So wrong. That witch Lily wasn't worth ruining lives over. I tracked her after prison. She'd bolted with that old coot without a backward glance." His cracked voice broke. "Every day I curse myself. Why didn't I listen? Why wait in that damned truck?" My stomach plunged. He took a halting step forward, but Michael blocked him. "Stay back." Jason stood frozen in place, staring at me with desperation. "Anne, I'm so glad you're doing well. He choked out before collapsing to his knees with a heavy thud. Patrons around us turned to stare as his forehead struck the floor tiles. Please. Forgive me. Each violent bow echoed through the quiet store. I'm dying. I can't face judgment with this guilt. His ashen face contorted when Michael and I's son clutched my coat hem. Trembling, I shielded the boy's ears, gazing down at the groveling figure. This mirrored how I'd begged him in our past life after he poisoned our wedding toast. While my insides twisted with agony, I'd pleaded for mercy. But he'd watched coldly as I died, declaring I deserved it. Jason. My voice cut through his sobs. Your remorse means nothing to me. Take your apologies to the grave. Every suffering you endure is earned. I turned to grasp Michael's arm, our son's small hand in mine. Let's go home. We walked past the wailing man without glancing back. Outside the department store, Michael squeezed my hand. It's over now. I smiled up at my husband. Autumn leaves swirling around us. Yes. The nightmare had finally ended. Dawn brought true love and peace, the life I'd fought through hell to claim.